Hey everyone! So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this little birthday card using the other new celebration set called Party Pants. So this is the third item that was just recently released, part of the celebration catalog. The past 2 days videos have been featuring the other two items. I figured I would go ahead and feature number 3 just so that we were fair to all of the new products. So this one is going to be a super cute little birthday card. I love the balloons. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this and give you an idea of how you can use this new stamp set. So to make this card, I just set that off to the side. We are going to be using, obviously, the Party Pants stamp set. We're also going to be using basic gray ink, Bermuda Bay ink. We're also going to be using the Baker's Twine in Bermuda Bay. I love this Baker's Twine because it's not as thick as some other Baker's Twine is, and it obviously matches our colors. Woohoo! We're also going to be using a couple pieces of cardstock. So we have, here, let me start with this. So this is a piece of regular Whisper White cardstock. And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So you have that one. Then we have just a scrap of Whisper White. And the only thing with this is you need it to be, how wide is this? Let's check it out. It looks like this is about 1 1/4 inch tall. Sorry if you guys can hear my dogs. They're trying to jump up on the bed, and I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so you just need it to be at least 1 1/4 inch tall. I would say about 1 1/2 inches tall. And then at least, how wide is that? At least 3 3/4 inches wide, because you want it to be able to go over this piece. So hopefully that makes sense. So there's that. Then we have a piece of thick Whisper White, which is cut at 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and then scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Bermuda Bay, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I also have a scrap of Bermuda Bay. We're going to be using this to, as you can see, punch out some balloons. And we're also going to be using this to do our little banner. So again, my only, I don't want to say requirement, but my only a suggestion for this piece would be to make it, let me see how large. I should have measured this and been more prepared, guys. So I would say make this one about 1 1/2 inches wide or tall again, and then at least 3 3/4 inches wide. And then you need some extra room to punch out your balloons. And then I have this piece, which is from the Have a Cuppa Designer Series paper stack. And it's just got these lines on it. And as long as you have 1 sheet of this paper, that's more than enough. That'll be plenty. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so I also forgot you're going to need the balloon bouquet punch, something. This is called something. It'll be on the screen somewhere around here. Okay, so we're going to start off by doing our first layer, and this one's pretty simple. All we need to do is punch out some balloons. So we're going to need 4 of each. So you're going to punch it twice, basically, out of your Designer Series paper. And also, do I have, okay, there. I was making sure I had the other one. So 4 out of the DSP stack, and then 4 out of just your regular old Bermuda Bay. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. And okay, so now I have, hang on, which one is which? This is my scrap. Okay, so I have my piece of Whisper White, regular Whisper White, that's 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so we have 2 pieces. This is the one that's cut at a specific dimension. So let me just flip over all of my little balloons. So what we're going to do now is just arrange our balloons on our little piece. The way that I did my sample, I'm going to do it the exact same way. And I'm going to use 3 of each of the balloons. So I'm going to use 3 of the solid ones and 3 of the patterned ones, and just kind of go for it. So let me find my dimensionals, which are somewhere around here. So I'm just going to kind of start. Now the way I did the sample is I took one large one that had the pattern on it, and I'm just going to make my sample. Again, I am changing one thing, but you won't really even be able to tell. So I'm just going to take the large balloon and I'm going to stick it right at the top, close to the center. Now these don't have to be perfectly centered, like that one's a little off. This works perfect by not having things perfectly centered, if that makes sense. Then I'm going to take one of the solid balloons and put that one down just a little bit, and then another one of the solid balloons and put this one on the other side. Okay, just like that. Now what we're going to do is bring in our baker's twine, and I'm just going to unravel this a little bit. And the easiest way to do this is to take your baker's twine. Let me come up a little bit. So I'm taking my baker's twine and I'm just acting like I'm going to tie a knot in it, but I'm not going to secure it. So I have this little loop, and I'm just going to slip the loop underneath this little piece of the balloon and then pull it taut. Then what I'm going to do is pull down my string, and I'm going to cut it a little bit further. You aren't going to need that much, but I just find that it's easiest to just pull it all the way down. It's better to have more than to have less in the end. So I'm just going to do the same thing to the other 2 balloons, and this actually is pretty quick. It doesn't take very long to do this. Slip it under there, pull it tight, and then bring this down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is these little, sorry, my hand's in the way. Let me see if I can. So I'm going to take these little strands that were on the other side of where I tied, and I'm just going to snip all of these off. Just like that. So now I have these 3 strands of my balloons. This one is not cooperating with me. Oh man, now I'm going to have to redo it. I'm actually going to just scrap that and do one from the start. Maybe that'll work a little bit better. Okay. Snip off our little tail, pull this taut, there you go. Okay, so you want to kind of pull these into the middle, but you don't need to really secure them in any way. You just want to kind of get them a little bit situated. So now I'm not going to use my other big balloon that is printed, and I'm not going to use one of the small balloons that's solid. So now what I need to do is flip these guys over, put a dimensional on the back of all of them. Just using one dimensional. I'm going to start with my solid balloon in the middle. Whoops. And I want to pull the strings down a little bit so that I can really put everything into place. And whoops, that one got stuck on my hand. And I'm just going to kind of place my balloons around. Whoops. That one's not where I want it. You want to make sure that you're sticking these to the piece of Whisper White and not to the balloon on accident. That's what I just did, and that's why it was a little too high up. Okay, and then I'm just going to do this last one just like that. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. Just make our little knots. And slip it under. Sorry, this is probably hard for you guys to see, but it's the exact same thing that we just did. And if you didn't want to do knots on every single balloon, you don't have to. I like the look of it. I think it gives it a little something extra. But if you didn't want to, you don't have to. It is not a requirement. That is the beauty about making your own cards, is you can do whatever you want with them. And whoops. Now I'm throwing stuff around. Woo! Okay. And this last one, I'm just going to make my loop. Slip it under. I think I tightened that one a little too much. Okay. And then I'm just going to take my little tails again and cut them off. And I don't know which one. For this one, I don't know which one's my tail and which one's the part that I want to keep. Okay, so now that we've done that, it looks really crazy, and I know. So we are going to grab a piece of Scotch tape, and you're just going to shake this down, and you're going to grab all of the strings and kind of arrange them how you want them. I give mine a little bit of a twist because that just kind of gets them in a better place. And then you're just going to stick down this piece of Scotch tape, and that's going to secure them in place, just like that. Super simple and easy. I can't speak today. And then I'm just going to snip off the little tail bits. And I like to put just another little tiny piece right up against those tails so they don't get caught on anything and accidentally fray or something. Okay, so there is that. That was honestly the hardest part of this card. Next, we are going to take our Bermuda Bay and our scrap piece of Whisper White. Oops, sorry guys, that was my phone. Let me put that on silent. Okay, so we're going to take our scrap piece of Whisper White and our piece of Bermuda Bay. I'm actually going to set this off to the side really fast. And we're going to get into our stamping. Finally, I know, I'm sorry. So, with our piece of Whisper White, I'm going to take this stamp. This is, here, let me show you guys. It's the Put Your Party Pants On stamp. I'm going to take this, and I already have it on a block, but it was super crooked. There we go. And I'm going to be using Basic Gray. And I'm just going to ink this up in our Basic Gray, and I'm going to stamp it as in the middle as I can get it. Down and up. There you go. I can never stamp this one straight, so I just kind of gave up trying. Anyways, now what I'm going to do is take my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim this piece down just a little bit. So probably right there is good. I just want it to be even on both sides, and then you can scrap that. Now, I'm just going to set this off to the side for a hot second because we are going to need it again. I'm going to take my adhesive. You can use whatever adhesive you want. I like to use this Tombow Mono permanent adhesive, but that is just me. And I'm going to butt this up to the very edge of my Bermuda Bay piece, but I'm going to be leaving a little bit, that's probably like a 1/4 inch. I'm going to leave just a little bit on the bottom of it. Now I'm going to go in with my trimmer again. And I'm going to try and do this the best way possible. So I'm going to trim the Bermuda Bay piece on the left-hand side so that my white piece is flush against the Bermuda Bay. So this is trash. And now I'm just going to trim, here, let me move this ink out of the way because I'm going to start making a mess. And now I'm going to trim my Bermuda Bay to have just that little border up on the top of our white piece. So again, we just want about a 1/4 inch on the top of our white sentiment piece. I'm going to bring back over my little balloon piece, and what I want to do, sorry, I'm grabbing my tear and tape because I found that this works a little bit easier. So for this one, I used my permanent adhesive and I left the overlay or the overhang and folded it back. If you can see, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but it created this bumpiness is what I call it, and I don't like that look. So a couple things I'm going to do different with this one. For this one, I'm going to be using some tear and tape. I love tear and tape. If you have fast fuse, you can use fast fuse. It really doesn't matter, to be completely honest. You just want a strong, strong, strong adhesive, and I always get really good results with tear and tape, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to do one down the middle. Okay. Ooh, that's sticking to my fingers. Set that off to the side. Hope I can get the release paper off of these. 2, 3. Am I going to be able to do it? There we go. Oops, see, it's sticking to everything. Okay, so now I am going to put this in the middle. I'm going to line at the bottom of this little banner. I'm going to put it flush up against where we put that last piece of tape and where the tails are for our balloons. I'm going to flip it over and really rub. I'm flipping it upside down because I don't want this stickiness to stick to my desk. And really, really push that down, and that's going to make it stay really, really nice. Then I'm just going to take my scissors. You could use your trimmer if you want to, but I find my scissors work a little bit better. And just trim off that little excess. And you might have to trim it a couple times, and that's a-okay. I need to get just that last little bit. Oops. Okay. So I kind of fudged that one up, but it's fine. And just trim that. Okay, looks good to me. So I'm going to take this, trash that, and now we're going to set this off to the side just for a couple minutes. So I can move that. Then we're going to do our last little bit of stamping. I need to move some stuff around so I can get to all of my other stuff. Okay. What did I just drop? Hopefully I didn't need it. Now we're going to grab our piece of Bermuda Bay. This is again cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I also grabbed a piece of scratch paper because we're going to be kind of doing a little stamping off. So I'm going to grab these little confetti pieces from this stamp set, and I'm going to grab my Bermuda Bay ink. And I'm basically just going to stamp all over this. As you can see, I accidentally stamped. I went down too vigorously or too hard and got that little outline. The beauty of this is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You're probably not going to, you're going to notice it because you know it's there, but the person that you actually give this card to isn't even going to notice. They're never going to know the difference. And if you can see, I'm only going around the outside edge because that's all you really need for this card. You don't need to do anything on the inside because it's going to get covered up. And we're just going to keep doing this. I'm going to do one right here just because I'm not sure how far over that is going to cover. And if there's a couple spots that you feel like you need to fill in, we'll just fill them in. Okay, I think that is good. So I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay ink, move that off to the side, grab my, grabbing scraps and trash. I'm going to take that away. Going to grab some dimensionals. There we go. And I'm using 5. We've got a few layers on this card, so I'm not super concerned about it coming off or sagging or anything like that. Then we're just going to center this up. Bum, ba-da-bum. I'm going to grab my piece of thick Whisper White. Again, you want to make sure that you score this, because if you don't, you get these bumpies here like I have, and you don't want that. So, just going to grab my bone folder. I've already scored it, like I said, at 4 1/4. We're good to go. And again, because this has a lot going on it, I'm going to use tear and tape. I would use a strong adhesive, like I said, just because there's a lot going on this card. It does have a lot of weight to it, so you really want to make sure that that sticks down. If you had fast fuse, I would say that would probably be a little bit easier, but I don't have any fast fuse on hand right now. So I'm resorting to tear and tape because I always have this on hand. This is what I use to make my custom envelopes. When I make cards that have custom envelopes, I always use tear and tape. Okay, and let me grab, where is that little guy? My little weeding tool, because he makes it much easier to get this release paper off. Dun, 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 and uno más. You didn't know I was bilingual, did ya? Whoa, I just threw that across the table like I meant to do that. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is center this guy up. And that's it. You have a super cute little birthday card with some balloons on it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Again, if you're interested in getting the new Party Pants celebration stamp set, go over to my coordinating blog post. For the one, I've done a couple. I can't remember. Oh, I did one for the Sky is the Limit set and then one for the Pedal Pusher set. I basically broke it down by if you were to purchase the products that you need to create this card in its entirety, would you be able to hit your $50 mark to get the stamp set for free? So it's really fun to kind of look and see what you would have to buy to make this card and get your stamp set. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. And like I said, head over to my blog and all of the information will be there for you to purchase all these products and find out all of the information. So hopefully you guys are having a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye!